testing for Nidan, second degree black belt this evening, so if you'll extend your positive energy toward him. If I could have the Nidan check here, please. Eric?
Sensei, for this opportunity. What I've handed out to you is just a brief outline, trying to capture what I'd like to show tonight in this test. And this is something that's been rolling around in my mind for quite some time. But, title? Back here. Grab the lapel and just twist it. Block. Those are just a few of the techniques that we learn in Aikido. And I remember very distinctly, and I was talking to Lynn Sensei about this not too long ago, the first time I came to see an Aikido class. And it was at the dojo over on Skillman. And there was a couch sitting on the side of the mats. And I sat there with Lynn Sensei, and we talked about Aikido. She told me about it, and I watched the students, watched the class, and I thought, this looks pretty easy. It's so simple, you know? Just so simple. Taito grabs my wrist, I put my hand on his elbow, he goes down. Grabs my wrist, hand on the elbow, he goes down. Throws a punch, elbow goes down. Throws another one, catch him, grab him by the neck and throw him down. Simple. Looks so simple. And I think if we're honest with each other, honest with ourselves, we'll think, we all thought that maybe the first time we saw it. It looks so simple. we get on the mat, the first time on the mat, and we see a technique, and then we say, grab a partner, let's do the technique. And we watch that technique, and it looks simple. It looks simple like the first time we saw it. And then we try to do the technique, and it's not working. And we're getting good direction. Put your right hand here, put your left hand here, move your left foot, move your right foot, drop your center, move your center, get off the line. And all you're thinking is, put my right hand where? Everything else went by you. And then it starts to dawn on you. This that looks so simple is complicated. There's complexity to this. Ron? So if we take just the wrist grab, and we started looking at this technique, all the things that happen, all the nuances of this. As he grabs, there's a lot happening. First thing that I should have happening is a soft gaze, where I'm not focusing on that. I don't need to focus on that. I know where my hand is. I know where my wrist is. It's in his hand. I know where his hand is. I don't need to look there. I need a soft gaze. Also, when he has done this, again, many things happening. As he comes here, I need to be sensitive. I need to feel the energy when it comes in. When the grab happens, the grab is not like this. He's not doing that to me. He grabs. There's a push toward me and then back and down, because his intent is to hold this wrist down, to hold me here so he can take this weapon and here. But we learn, we're sensitive. We feel the flow of the energy and we go with it. He pushes in and pulls back because he wants to hold me down. He's not trying to hold me here. That's really strange, unnatural body positioning for him. So, we're using soft gaze. We know what is happening. He grabs the wrist. He pulls in. Not doing this. I'm not trying to pull away. Not a tug of war, not physical strength. He pulls. I feel the energy. It comes here. I go with this energy. As this happens, I start moving off the line. Remember that? We just mentioned that a while ago. One of the first things we start learning, move off the line. We move off the line. Again, at least 4 things happening already. We start sliding forward. Anyone who's worked with me on the mat, I say this a lot. My right hand and my right foot, they like each other. They like to travel together. Same thing for my left hand, left foot. They like to travel together. Don't cross a lot, but if you do, you see they still travel together. And no one's left behind. So we have all these things happening. The soft gaze, the energy flow, stepping off the line, traveling together. Also, we step in. This hand rotates, palm down. Because as you look at this, this is a very strong grip for him. Very strong. Vice-like. As I rotate and come down, instead of trying to pull against his fingers, now all I have is his thumb. I'm right here. And this is down. So, again, we're rotating the hand. We're sliding in. This. As I slide forward, the center drops. Again, we're looking at the nuances of this technique. We're sliding in. Center's dropping. I'm moving this way. There's something you can't see. Intent. The intent that I have of planting my hand flat on the mat. That's what I visualize. My hand is going to go on the mat. This isn't the consequence to me. That's not what I'm thinking about. My intent, my hand's on the mat. As I come in, he's grabbed. We're coming off the line. I'm sliding here. I also know this is a weak angle. There's nothing supporting him here. If I try to go straight in, he has this leg. It's going to support him. If I try to pull him forward, he has this leg. Support him. Again, we're looking at all the nuances, the small things that are happening in this technique. So as he grabs, all these things happening, the center's dropping, moving from my center. I'm not sticking my hand way out here. That's That's physical. That's getting away from my center. It's here. He's grabbed. I'm not trying to come up here. I'm not trying to go out there. It's right here. Let's keep it here. This is in front of my center. We're going to come here. We're coming down. We're sliding. My intent is here. So we're looking at all these things. And it's not everything that's happening in this technique. These are the nuances. Some of the nuances that we're seeing when we do a technique like this. All the little things that we should be looking at and feeling as we go through this. The other night, I had the opportunity to take a class for Lynn Sensei, and we started working on Aikido. And if he has a wrist grab, and we come in, Aikido. Number one technique. This is where we're going with it. But along the same lines, that was just the technique. Again, it was simple. We're missing the nuances. And when you miss the nuances, you start overlooking the principles behind these techniques. So we started with this drill. As he came in, again, just like we did with Hijitoshi, we felt the energy. He's coming in, the energy is not going back this way. He's pushing me this way. So as he comes in, I follow the energy. And then we came down. We went into Aikido. And we did this again and again. And it was very important. And Ron was there, and one of the things I kept saying was, use the entire mat. Use the entire mat. These are big, expansive movements. Because we're so anxious to get to that technique. We want to do that technique. So everything from the time that uke initiates to when we finish the technique is a blur. It goes by. We're not savoring it. We're not looking at it. We're not understanding what's happening. So that's why big movements. Use all the mat. Feel where the energy's going. Don't rush it. We're in a hurry. We want to get to that technique. We want to take that uke down. And we're missing so much. So as he came in, and I just felt the energy. We just took him down. And we weren't worried about a pen. We weren't anything like that. We wanted to feel what was happening. We wanted to feel all the different things that were happening in the technique. As we went through it, again, the nuances. The things that made the simple technique complex when we first tried to do it. And the second time we tried to do it, and the third time, the 100th time, it always was difficult. As he came in, again, same thing. I don't have to look at this. Soft gaze. I know what his hand is doing. I know where it is. I know where my wrist is. I'm feeling where the energy's coming. I'm not trying to pull him over here. I'm not trying to take him this way. Let him decide. Let his energy decide where it's going. Coming in. And again, we still have. I guess we came in again. Energy here. And when we decided we're going to round the corner, dropping in the center. Another principle that we learn on Aikido. You drop your center. And you drop it. You're keeping this all at belt level. You're not coming way up here. Because when you move away from your center, you move away from your energy. So we're here. We drop our center. It helps us make this turn. As we come in, something else. We're not just letting our arm collapse. We're still extending energy. Extending this energy forward. Something you hear when you start training in Aikido is you're backing up, you're backing up. As he comes in, yes, it does look like I'm backing up, but you're extending energy. My mind is extending forward because I know that's my intent, to go this way. So we're coming in, and it's, again, here. So we started looking at all this, and we started with just the big movements to feel the energy. And then we went for a dip. Drop the center. Here. And again, we didn't worry about the pen. We were feeling the nuances here. All the things that made this technique really complex. There are a lot of things happening at once. And I say this when I'm training with folks, that Aikido is a lot of little things all happening at the same time. And there's so many things that have to happen at once. Comes in. We drop this in. We're extending that forward energy the whole time. So we started with this, with these big, expansive movements. And we talked about, this is not supposed to be real life. This is training. This is not just to get to the technique. Cut to the chase. I want to do technique. Technique. I want to get there. This was feel the nuances. Look at all the different layers that are there. Understand what's happening in these techniques. Just don't go for the physical in it. Yes, this is big and broad. Yes, seems like it's unrealistic. It's a drill. We're training. What we're trying to get to is, as we take these big, expansive movements here, we take these here, we want to make it compact. We want to take all this mat space and we bring it in. We bring it in. We bring it in. We make it very small, more and more compact. And as we train, as we start to understand, the movements are so compact that it seems like you're not moving at all. You never moved. You never got off the line. You never dropped your center. But the high practitioners, they're still doing all this mat, taking up the whole mat, but it's all internal. Internally, they're using the entire mat. Internally, their center's really dropping. Internally, they're extending very much. All these big, broad movements that we did, they're still doing that. But you can't see it. Now it's here. It's so compact, it's so tight. Very tight, very, very much so. In the Kokinagi that he did, again, we're using the principle behind this, the soft gaze. I can't focus on his hand. His hands are fast. You always hear the hand's quicker than the eye, and it's true. I can't watch that hand. With soft gaze, I can see everything. He comes in. I see where his energy's coming like so. It's circular. He wants to catch it here. He's moving in this direction. This looks like I'm grabbing his neck and throwing him to the mat. That's not Aikido. I'm using his energy as he comes in. I'm moving in. I'm blending with his energy. I'm letting him, even though I enter his sphere, I'm bringing him into mine. And as he comes in, I feel the energy. This yoke man comes in. I'm coming here. I'm catching here. Again, these are nuances to this. This is leading down. My center's dropping to bring this down. It affects his posture, his body mechanics. He comes down. His energy just goes forward. Again, these small things, little nuances in this technique. We get in the headlock. This is a favorite when you're a kid on the playground. Get him in the headlock. You got him. Even grown up. Get somebody in a headlock. There's a lot of fear that happens. You think, I'm trapped. But you're not. As he gets me in a headlock, just here, again, we're going to feel the energy. And he's not pushing back against me like this. That physically is not strong. He's cranking here, so his energy's going this way. Again, body mechanics, flow of energy, drop my center, all the things we were doing before. I feel that energy. And it's not a physical wrenching, throw him down to the mat. His energy is pulling in that direction. I go with that flow. I understand that's the way it's going. He wants to go that way. I'll let him go that way. I'll help him along a little bit. But all the things we're looking at, all the principles of Aikido, again, are in this technique. Dropping the center, going the flow of energy, understanding the soft gaze. All these things are happening. If we come in and he grabs opposite wrist behind to pull me around, there'd be a punch coming. Now, one of the things we look at when we have these rear attacks, the Shiro attacks, is there's a lot of fear because you've been attacked from behind. You're blind. It's like they came out of the dark. You don't know what's happening. But if you're using soft gaze, we know a lot of things. He gave me a lot of information. One, I know where he is. He's behind me. Two, I have a pretty good feeling about which hand he's using to grab me, just based on body mechanics. He's not going to come up and grab me the same side and try to turn me. That doesn't work really well for him. It's not natural. I know where one of his weapons, his hand is. So I don't have to worry about it anymore. Now I've cut that down. So by staying relaxed, a principle of Aikido, I'm absorbing a lot of information from him, even though I can't see him. There's a lot of information going on. So as he comes and he grabs me, going down the street. The same thing we're doing in the static. Same things that are happening. Going with his flow of energy. Feel where it's going. He's turning me. He's spinning me. I don't have to do that. I'm moving in. I'm dropping my center. I'm extending that energy. All the things we did when it was static, we do when it's in motion. We do it from the rear. We do it when we're operating blindly, in the dark. All these things we can't see. And that's something Aikido teaches you is that you don't have to see what is happening. You're not using your eyes, so to speak. You're using soft gaze, using intent, using this different level, this different state of energy that you're in. So you start looking at all these techniques that we're in such a hurry to get to, and we start cutting these down, looking at the nuances behind them, and we start understanding, there are so many things happening in these techniques when we really start dissecting them. That's why they seem so complicated when we first get on the mat. I'll never understand all the things that I need to do to make this technique work. But you stay with it and you stay with it. And you start looking at the techniques differently. And after a while, Ron, you up here, please. We just have these different techniques happening. If he's coming here, he grabs. We open. So all these things happen. We start thinking about it, and as we begin to understand the art, maybe that Hijitoshi, that wrist grab, elbow drop, maybe that is really simple. Maybe it is really simple. Maybe all the complexities that we build into it, into the techniques, they're just tools. They're tools to help us understand the principles in Aikido. So we look at this journey, and it's one we have to take, and one we should enjoy taking. It's where we go from simple, when we first see the art, all we know is what we see and it looks simple. We start to study the art, and everything takes on a life unto itself. It becomes so complicated. And that's sometimes an uphill journey. To go with that, to stick with it, because there are a lot of things happening. After a while, you start to understand the art, and you understand the principles behind all these physical things that we're doing. And it's simple again. It's really simple. All these things are simple. I've mentioned several times so far soft gaze. And this is something that Lynn Sensei is teaching us. She's exposing us to this. And it's different from peripheral vision. That's physical. That's where you're catching things just out of the corner of your eyes. That's physical. It's limiting. Soft gaze, we all do it. We don't realize we do it. We do it when we're driving. When you're driving, you're not driving and just focusing on the car right in front of you. You'll